will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. I say to you today, my friend, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
A very lovely morning and welcome to Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM. This very lovely, beautiful Saturday morning, and today is the 27th today in the month of September in the year 2025. Wherever you're listening to us from, it's always a pleasure to welcome you. My name is Tony Olisa Mbeki, the Honorable Speaker. It's always a pleasure to have you on this very show. Remember, on this very platform, we speak the truth, we uphold the truth, and we preserve the truth. And we call a spade a spade. We can never call a spade by any other name. That's more reason we said not this veritas, and not this Ayudisim veritas, and not this Viveka Kabit veritas, and not this Lingolum Lingolum, and not this Contra Lingolum Lingolum. You're welcome wherever you are listening to us from, and for our friends on the other side. We remember this program. We have two guests, and we have first guest, we have the second guest, and as we have now, there is an interswitch over certain reasons. So the second guest, that of ADC, will be coming from 10 to 11, and then we are going to have our first guest who's going to stand in from 9 to 10. And for those who have linked up before now, please just patience and understand this little adjustment. Please, our second guest, we're gonna let you know him by that time, but our second guest of ADC will be joining us from 10 to 11. And then we have our first guest, and our first guest this very morning is no other person than Dr. Alex Obiobolu, the political advisor to the governor of Anambra State, His Excellency Soludo. It's my pleasure to welcome you, Dr. Alex Obiobolu.
Thank you. Good morning, Tony. I want to extend my greetings to your listeners this morning. Good morning, everyone.
It has been a very long time, Dr. Alex, because most times, apart from being programmed, apart from doing some of these things, I do talk about relationship. You know, it has been a long time. Those listening have heard from you over the radio. You know, at a point you hear a constant guest, and then you spoke to issues, especially in Anambra State from time to time. I don't know what happened over time. You have eclipsed that period, or you don't love radio again.
Our present function demands that you are not seen, but your actions are seen.
All right, let's quickly go into
advisors.
Advisors, yes. And then those that decide what happens in the state. Yes. So let's quickly understand that Alex Obiobolu, you're welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. And then let's go straight to the business of the day. You are now in APGA, and we know very well that you are one of the top bureaucrats when it comes to government. Can you tell us what the present government in Anambra State has done over the last 3.5 years, and the reason is seeking re-election?
Well, this question, if I were to give a full detailed answer, we'll probably not leave here today. But let's surmise it to say that we've been on a roller coaster. We've moved like a whirlwind. When you've got a governor who has a big vision, who has a vision that transcends what you have in the present situation. What he has done has been to touch every sector of life in Anambra State. And his actions have also touched families. Every family unit has felt the impact of development in Anambra State. That will be my summary, but I'll try to break it down into parts for you. You know, without security, society cannot progress. without law and order, you have chaos. And where there's chaos, things don't work. So the situation we met on ground is very important for people to remember. Because, human beings tend to forget when things are going good. And there is an adage that says that the stomach, once food enters, next minute is hungry. It doesn't remember what it has eaten before. So human beings tend to forget what the past has been like. They always talk about the future and try to criticize the present so that the future can be better. Now, the insecurity. When we were doing campaigns, we couldn't campaign. A few of us were huddled up in bulletproof vehicles because everywhere there were bandits who masqueraded as unknown gunmen. And this was the situation Mr. Governor met on ground. And when he came in, he tried the first thing any responsible leader would do, to engage them. Because these people were dressed in garbs of subnationalism. We're fighting for our motherland. The Igbos have been disenfranchised. Our leader is being held in prison. He tried to engage them. He went as far as seeking permission of the national federal authorities and had a meeting with their leader, who was in incarceration. And the leader said unequivocally that he was non-violent and their mission was non-violent, that those who were doing this were criminals. And you remember that a member of the clergy, religious clergy, even said that he saw a vision in his crusade where the governor was running, there was blood all over government house. Now, a normal person will have said, oh, biko pele me pele. The governor said, this is not from God. What you've seen is your personal assumption. And that has been part of the bedrock of the problem he's had with him till today. So he went in and developed a strike force of 250 persons who led the security agencies into the bush. And we began to decapitate, to destroy. It was at that point that we began to see the genesis of what had given them support. This perception of invisibility, that there were men, Okite, who were giving them this false sense of security, of invisibility to bullets. Then the government started taking down the shrines. Then we started documenting the actors and their supporters. That was what led to going after these persons. So that security was very important. And the moment we were able to stabilize it, remember, every day there's insecurity. It's something governments all over the world deal with. He now went in and declared emergency on roads. Of course, I can tell you, Eva Abanakada Ekli. They saw what has happened. Over 850 kilometers of road awarded in 3.5 years. Close to 600 kilometers completed, which I can reel you out road by road. In the past administrations, what they did was Abia Asenalo 600 kilometers. Amapo the roads. Emeyefa their meterage. But we can tell you how many kilometers you go and verify. Then from there he said Nigeria at that time was suffering. 2023. People were under intense pressure. Nigeria was happening to people. And we see Mr. Governor said to alleviate the burden of people. Of course, he gave out bags of rice, but that was just something for the immediate. We had to develop a long-term development for this plan. Then he said, okay, every family has certain things. He has to provide rent for his family. He has to provide education for his family. He has to buy food for his family. Of course, security is done by government, right? He has to provide health care. So I said, okay, fine. The governor now said, okay, we are going to work towards free education. Today, we have free education in our public schools from kindergarten to SS3. Because our doctrine is leave no one behind.
That's the mantra of APGA.
APGA. Then, Because I said I will try to shorten it
Yeah.
because I can't live in a day. Then he looked at another factor, health. What is the highest cost health index in your health payment bills?
Okay.
Antenatal. And antenatal, the cost is something else. So he said free antenatal for all women in Anambra. And that thing were 2 successes on record. We got the lowest maternal mortality rate in Nigeria within a year.
Within a year?
Within a year. Then what happened? If I in a medical journey, people started coming for medical journey in Anambra. The index showed that over 42% of whom benefit from antenatal see from neighboring states Abia. And well good news when Nana. So we began to change the perception of Anambra, this negative perception anyway, to one of a beautiful place, a livable place. Then the next one was ASHA, Anambra State Health Insurance Agency. We now developed a concept, Mr. Governor developed that concept where with 12,000 naira a year, you could have access to health care.
That access to healthcare, is it in every area or in a specified area?
In government health institutions. Then, not just to do that, we know that most government hospitals were not well funded and were not developed. They were dilapidated. We did a massive infrastructural development to redevelop at least 326 primary health care centers in Anambra State. And as I'm talking to you, over 240 have been completed.
240 completed out of 326.
Verify. Then we said, okay, of course, he decided also to engage the health sector. We discovered that we were lacking doctors. He now said, okay, good. We recruited over 1,000 doctors and nurses within the first 2 years in our administration. Then we saw that it was not going to be enough to provide doctors in every ward. So he came with this ambitious program, telemedicine, to be able to provide 1 doctor per ward. So if you go to any primary health care center now, I won't say any because we're activating, I think they're about completing the activation process, but most of them are already activated. If you have a health condition that requires a doctor, they engage the doctor through the internet. And the doctor will speak to you, examine you, get them to examine you, and provide the next prescription for you. If it's drugs, or refer you to a general hospital, a specialist hospital. That is in process now. Then, what we did again, when we found out in our education sector that we lacked teachers, they did a staff audit and showed that they had a shortage of 7,000 thereabout teachers in the institutions. 7,000. Most schools didn't have maths teachers. What did Mr. Governor do? We took the ambitious project. And till date, we have recruited 8,115 teachers. So, these things are things that benefit the individual family. That makes it easier for him to have more money for other things. Then, the road. Of course, transportation costs went high because of the removal of subsidy. But one other thing that has controlled that increase in transport fares is the fact that the roads are better motorable now, safer, and allows keke riders, shuttle drivers, commercial bus drivers less money to spend on maintenance of their vehicles, and even for the private sector, the private drivers. So when you look at all these things, then what happens to a teenager, a young man who is still living with his father, who is still, the older they get, the more they eat.
Okay.
What did Mr. Governor do? He said, okay, good, we're going to help them. We went into what you call 1 youth, 2 skill. Basically, to reskill people or give them skill. Reskill means Onye will go skill, but is not being productive with the skill.
All right.
The next one is Onye will maybe a school dropout or somebody who go a graduate, but he has no job. We are just concluding the second phase of that. The first phase, we funded close to 5,000 people. 2.5 billion was provided as loan. 2 billion was given as grants. Grants, boo. Never. to empower them to go out. And last year, we found out that over 1,000 of them have become huge employers of labor. Huge in the sense that Opogo is a millionaire. He feels he's now a millionaire, he can employ more people.
Yeah.
So, I know you want to engage me more, but like I said, if I keep talking,
right.
I won't get
I want to let you know some of the things the critics have been saying about these things you reeled out. And then let's begin with that of security. In the area of security, they will tell you that Anambra State is very unsafe. And then if you compare it with other states like Enugu State, like Ebonyi, Imo, and APGA, that it is most when it comes to being unsafe. They give their statistics. They say in this state, a state member of the Anambra State House of Assembly or member of Anambra State was killed and abducted, and they will tell you that there had been some kind of uneasy in the state. But outside that, you say that 7 local governments were reclaimed, even included or borrowed, talking about where the state government was coming from, and then trying to reel out the successes. And this issue of, they say that even these men that the government arrested, they have kept them in induction. Some are saying that even without a bail, why would the government go on to keep these people, know them by their names? Why have they not been granted bail? And people are saying that why has light knife not returned in Anambra State, especially whenever it's 10 p.m. people we go to bed, but that shouldn't be. That is on the area of security. That's what some critics are saying.
So let me take you on
all
it.
Right, okay.
Let me take you on it. I laugh because the people saying this are not the normal Anambrians and residents. These are people who they want political power. What do they want political power for? To do right or to do wrong? Tony, you know me. When I was in opposition, nke government metal, metal ya. Metal.
So you think opposition is not saying anything good about the government? They're not saying that government has done something good.
They just want to bias the people's mind. But the people know the truth. Let me tell you. Nightlife has returned. In Onitsha. Last night in Onitsha. When I went up by 9, there was nightlife. I can show you pictures.
You are from Onitsha.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's nightlife back.
So you mean people were still open at that time?
Listen. How you know improvement? Because when they real statistics, what statistics are they reeling? In the last 3 months, how many kidnappings have happened in Onitsha?
So you are saying there had never been kidnapping?
How many kidnappings? Let them tell me.
In Onitsha alone,
Let's
leave Onitsha because Onitsha seems to be
the epicenter of Anambra.
Let's see Onitsha is more safe.
In Oka?
Okay.
Because I'm looking at the big cities first before I go to smaller ones.
All right.
How many has happened in the last 2 months? Kidnappings. They just make, and the same people never go far. I'm moving around freely.
So you mean they have not been attacked during their campaigns?
They've not been attacked.
You said during their own campaigns in
2021, you were bulletproof.
You can't move around.
APGA was attacked in Yala. We couldn't enter Yala. That day they were in Yala. We in PDP were in Ebenator also. We were all running. The moment you can't put your uniform, your party uniform or the colors, you have to get here on an island.
You can't even bring your car.
Campaign. Nanya, I keep telling them it is wrong to run down your state, because when you run down your state, you say you want to be a governor. Who is going to come and invest? When you are saying that your state is insecure, and your state is not insecure in Lagos, and they make it nap. Let me tell you about criminality. The essence of criminality is that it's not that it doesn't happen. All over the world, criminality occurs. Look at Finland. And it will be one of the safest countries in the world, where, in fact, no prisons occur. No way. But crime still happens there. But what happens to crime is that the ability to detect and apprehend criminals.
Is there anything like control room in Anambra State? We have to manage time.
And this, it tells you, to engage this is not easy. Tells you, in Anambra, before now, criminals will go away free. But now, you operate, we will catch you. And that was how we were able to apprehend the murderers of my brother. It was not the regular security agencies that did it. It was the new security apparatus we engaged, the Dogachi security, which includes the police, the army, and the rest.
All right.
Now, you see regularly, because it's not everything we share on social media, but regularly you see criminals being caught in Anambra State. That is what tells you that there's provision of security. The issue about insecurity. As long as there's a good and bad, crime will continue to happen.
All right, I want to engage you on something. Father Matu Eya was killed in Enugu. And then when he was killed, I think he was killed, last week. And they said those killers came from Anambra State and killed him in Enugu State.
Okay.
And critics, that's what they said. Because
did they catch the criminals?
They did not.
So how did they know? Which means Oyabunakulie were source and should be apprehended and interrogated. You understand me? Today in Anambra, they can only operate in this ambush style, in the fringes of Anambra State. The fringes is places like Ihite, right?
Okay.
Osumo, Uli. But even Osumo has been cleared now.
So you mean I can go to my town?
You can go to your town.
You know Osumo is my town.
I know. But the problem, clearing a place and perception of safety.
Okay.
Even over time, people will perceive. I will give you an example. Mondays, sit at home. People are moving around freely.
Because it happened last week Monday. I
people
saw
are
a
moving
lot of
around
people.
freely.
So let me quickly leave that. But then because you say insecurity is all over the world, and then you say that those who say that for the area, and then I think around the Soka area there's a little insecurity there. But those critics are saying that they may have come from Anambra.
And that thing. We figure water why Anambra was the big help. In the age day, many of them were not in the Anambra. Crime goes where there's money.
Oh, okay.
You have to understand it. Crime goes where there's money. Now, of the 5 southeast states, which is the richest state?
All right, but then opposition and many of them are saying that they are going to bring technology when it comes to issue of insecurity.
What technology? We have technology. We don't advertise. Onyanwe mbo ojejaya ada advertise here.
Okay, you mean there's technology already?
Ifunanya. How did we catch those boys? Ayejogu.
That killed Azu.
How did we catch them?
But they said one escaped.
It was not in our hands. You know that. It was in security because the law, the Agune Chamber law, the Homeland law requires that we arrest and we hand over.
Okay. But then the Anambra State government, have they been able to treat this issue of rascality and then inhumanity meted out to some citizens and then the Anambra by the Udoga Agune Chamber?
It's a work in progress. Even in America, the security agencies are accused of being overly hard. Let me use the kind word for them. Remember the black guy that they killed that led to massive unrest? When we apprehend, we keep training them. We've trained them, we are retraining them, and government does not tolerate indolence, excessive use of force, intimidation, or any criminality among its security agencies. Mr. Governor doesn't tolerate that. And you see that we are quick to condemn it. Even Nakwakodo, for example, the Sasa. Without the Sasa today, Upiweka will not be where it is. Today in Upiweka, you can sleep on the ground. Then nothing will happen.
But why are they using Akodo?
No, I said we condemn those things. But I'm trying to tell you that if you remove them,
there will be more chaos.
There will be chaos.
I think somebody said that the other time that when there was an issue at Main Market and these people did not work for some time around Ochanje, there was chaos.
It's going to be chaos.
I think some people confirmed that. But my concern is the
I don't want to criticize the Nigerian police. I don't want to criticize the military. You know that this is something which I have always said we borrowed from this colonialist mentality. Right? We were colonized. Yeah. We came with this feeling that you can't talk down. I'm your leader. Okay. I have authority. Even the white man or guy, even like the 1929 riots, about riots, they just kill people. They just did everything. We've gone with that mentality over the years. Lotenke fella, female fella, the known soldier. These things have continued to come with us, but it's getting better because the law is done. You see what the police does. Once they're exposed, the police removes your uniform, puts you on orderly room trial, and sends you to.
So you want to tell me that some members of Agune Chamber and Dakodo that have meted out some level of inhuman treatment?
Not tell you, we've exposed them. We've put them on video now.
Oh, they have been exposed, and
yes,
they have been.
We hand them over to security.
Okay, so there's this conduct. I don't know if there is any standard rule of conduct handed over to them when they go out.
There is a rule of conduct. There is a code of conduct for engagement.
Can they?
But let me tell you the problem in Nigeria.
Okay.
France in Nigeria, right? The family training, the home training, the attitude we have among our younger generation leaves much to be desired.
Okay.
In medicine, as a doctor, I am a doctor. I know the way doctors tend to attend to patients is not the way we were trained. So this issue and mentality, Nongi, with the leader, I don't care. Why are you talking to me? Sit down there. You got police, you don't have any right to talk to police. You don't. No. People have their fundamental human rights and it must be obeyed. And that is what the solution government insists on.
Okay. I want to also ask you, the governor has said he's not contesting with anybody, that he sees no person he's contesting with. How true is that statement? But then we have those candidates listed by INEC, or is it a political statement, or what does the governor mean when he comes out and say, oh, he's not contesting for anybody, has no rival, who can challenge me? What does that mean?
The ADC candidate in Oya with the next governor. The Labour Party candidate, Andrew Mebosi, he met with the outgoing governor. He, the incoming governor.
Okay.
Right?
So these are political statements?
These are political statements. But the truth is, Elui Rogo.
So are you going to bank on what happened during the by-election where APGA won 1,926 polling units, leaving about 14 or thereabouts to the rest parties, and they cleaned up everything? Are you going to bank on that? That is going to be Tony, the case in...
This is not by our power. It is not APGA that has done it. It's the people of Anambra who have decided to entrust us and say, we believe in your senator, we say your party, carry go. So it's not by our power. So I cannot tell you that result to November 8th, but I can tell you with faith and belief, with our interactions with the citizens of Anambra, with what we are seeing when we go around talking to them, with the impact and testimony we are getting from parents who have enjoyed free education, with the impact we are getting, testimonies we are getting from people who have benefited from the roads revolution we've done in Anambra, from the impact of those in these communities facing insecurity who are today going back to their places. We believe that November 8th, 2025, by 11 p.m., Mr. Governor, Professor Charles Chukwuma CFR, will have been returned as Governor of Anambra State.
The governor won triple award in United States of America, and I'm aware that these awards, the African Public Service Excellence Award, the African Governor of the Year Award, and the special commendation by the South Carolina House of Representatives, and the opposition, they have come out and said that Mr. Governor bought these awards in United States of America. In fact, they went on to say he bought it for $300,000.
Oh my God.
That's what they say, that he bought this award. In fact, he bought the House of Representatives, South Carolina, and he also bought the two other awards that he got, the African Governor of the Year Award, and he bought it for $300,000. But they have not been able to give us proof of that $300,000, but they have made some speculations. Can we really understand because we saw the governor who posted the award saying that
parliament before on your bata your parliament honorable Opovna Batia. He sweats. The media is allowing the Anambra opposition freedom of speech, and that freedom of speech has crossed the border where it is now incitement, now it is maligning, malicious. Naya, it is because they have nothing to campaign about.
Though we asked them to give us proof of that $300,000.
When we were
they have not provided.
We came and said, remember, I will say, this is what we're going to do. This is what, remember, I will bring the government's audited accounts.
Yeah,
see, it is wrong. Now, nobody's talking about issues. I'll give you an example. We APGA looked at the qualifications of the APC candidates and said, how can you, the qualification to be governor, minimum was school start. Now, nobody were more than school start 10 years. Now, somebody, 10 years, school start, 10 years PhD. And PhD, honorary PhD. We started querying it. It's a campaign issue.
Yes.
The citizens have to know. Questions have to be asked. Can even my own BSc, MSc, with a PhD? And when investigation, chapter na that PhD is from unrecognized university. Now, it could be onya aba sina munyo onya di otu munyo di. That is not the issue. The issue is respond to the allegation being made, which is a genuine allegation that requires, as part of the political process, qualification.
But why would the governor also say that the candidate of APC has F9 in mathematics, F9 in English, F9 in economics?
Qualification.
That's
qualification, because when the lawmakers, when the law was being created, no minimum of school start, it was not intended, not just attempted school start. Because some people attempted school start, they didn't attempted school start. The law did not intend not about attempted school start. Because attempted school start allows you F9, F9. But school start means the qualified have to go incredible. Issue Oyibo, he add the sum, maybe. So these are campaign issues. But when you not digress, because I used to say to people, now I'm gonna remember debate. Obani Kono, he has nothing to say.
All right, okay, because you are trying to tell us that those awards were well merited, that they confer it to governor based on what he has done in Anambra State.
Even in Nigeria here, we won the best health state in primary health care services. He's been winning an award in Nigeria.
So it's not possible to go to United States of America and buy an award.
A star is a star.
So the governor is an African leader.
From his childhood, a star is a star.
So he's a star.
You cock a star in a bottle, anytime you remove the bottle, the star will come out.
Okay.
So even as CBN governor, he got awards.
So you mean that the governor has performed even the past governors in Anambra State?
You know, I've said that.
No, I'm asking, has he performed?
I've said it, that in truth, before God and man, with the facts.
But then some are saying that.
Some
are saying that.
And it's expected. It's expected.
Because
every father wants his child to be greater than him.
Okay, it's expected.
It's expected.
But then few people or some opposition that have said that even some roles you mentioned, some of them are substandard.
Show us. Come in, let's measure. Let's take a drill. Let's drill it.
All right, let's leave that. Let's quickly allow our listeners to come in. Many of them, they have been itching to come in. I can see the blue buttons. These blue buttons are up, and you are saying that the governor has done so much that he deserves second term, and he has outperformed the previous governors, the past governors. But you said it's expected that every son will pray for the son. Every father will pray for the son to be greater than the father. All right, we understand that. Please, you can come in at this point. We have Dr. Alex Obiobolu, who is our guest this very morning. He has said quite a lot, and then he said that if he goes on to talk about what the governor has done or the APGA government has done in Anambra State, that Chigabo, and then he has said that APGA or Anambra State is safe under APGA. I don't know why this marriage, but before I allow these people, callers and then listeners and parliamentarians to come in, this marriage has lasted for a very long time.
Which one?
The marriage between Anambra and APGA. It has lasted. So I think this marriage from 2006, that was when the Supreme Court or the Appeal Court at that time brought APGA that took power from PDP, the then PDP. And from 2006, in fact, by 2026, it will be 20 good years. Yes. So you will say, over that 20 good years, APGA has done well as a party in Anambra State. A sentence for that.
Yes, certainly. I mean, even though I was not in the party originally, but I will admit the APGA government has done well and has continued to do well.
And they did what PDP couldn't do.
Better. Yes, because PDP government...
You were in PDP then?
Yeah, I was in PDP. I mean, even the governor recognizes now that the former governor did well. But in terms of doing comparatively, the APGA governments have done better.
All right, thank you so much. Let's allow our callers to come in. But then there was an allegation made against you.
Yes.
In fact, people say that, in fact, one of the guests that came here said that you are one of those that brought in Banuju in Anambra State, that you were one of those that went into the conclave, that changed the primary, that produced Professor ABC Nwosu, and then there was that you were part of it, that you've been in Anambra politics for a very long time. But let's leave that, but that's not the issue.
No, let me correct that.
They said that you plotted to bring him.
I didn't hear that, but it's the people of Anambra State that elected the manager, not I, elected.
Okay. All right. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Please, we are going to take so many questions. I know many of you want to comment. Let's go and take these questions. Hello, good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Wonderful morning to you, Mr. Speaker. Olisa Mbeki.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Honorable Deacon, I'm calling from Onitsha.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I just want to, the policy is almost overheated in Anambra State. Anambra decides on November 8th. Now, I think the policies that have been overheated as a result of who will grab the seat. Is it going to ADC or APGA or PDP or Labour Party? But I just want to come in from this angle. The brouhaha between the governor and the Bunife. Is it the duty of, although it's our right to ask questions, but INEC as the umpire, are they not the one that's supposed to disqualify whoever that deems fit that is not qualified? Okay.
All right, make your question brief because of time. We have to manage time. Honorable DK,
yes,
make it brief.
This question in respect to the ongoing saga between both parties, Bunife and the governor. And also, you say that the governor have performed more than other governors. I just want to disagree with that. And you have to prove the fact how he has performed more than other governors. Though it's expected that he has to do that. But I just want the fact.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Rika. Can I ask 2 questions? The Equinife saga, but we're going to come back to Dr. Alex to answer that. But we want to pick other calls, and then we got a question: how did it perform the past governors? That was the question you asked. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Badmos or no? I'm calling from a name.
You're welcome, Badmos. Quickly.
The guest in the studio said that free maternal, that is wine and free of charge. Man, after me remind the that General Hospital
That's Federal Medical Center. I think that's Federal Medical Center. It's no more General Hospital. It's under the federal government, yes. Under federal government. It's no more under Anambra State government.
Okay, next time we keep more.
Oh, yeah, okay, your thought was to Mpewa, so not really, okay, you are coming to Mpewa, Dr. Alex statement, so, but then you were disappointed that this one didn't work. All right, good morning, you're welcome, it's good to have you.
Good morning, my brother.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
I'm Emmanuel, I'm calling from Onitsha.
Emmanuel, calling from Onitsha, please go on.
Thank you very much. Well, in terms of all this award that our governor is getting from everywhere, yes, he deserves it. Let me tell you the truth.
You mean that the governor deserves the awards in United States of America, the triple award, the governor of the year in Africa, not in Nigeria?
I said that he deserves more than that. He's working. But I want to ask Ellis, why is it that some people that are around Sorundo not appreciating Obiano, at least for giving us someone that is working in Anambra State? Because I heard so many of you.
You mean every appreciation should go to Obiano for bringing Salute on board? Yeah. That if not for him, he wouldn't have brought it. And the people are not appreciating Obiano. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, because I know that Salute has come for this governorship. And he said it woefully before this Obiano. Obiano single-handedly bring him. Why am I saying single-handedly? Bring him through this primary election. And without primary election, you cannot be will not vote for you. And again, you said that Anambra State before is full of insecurity. Let me remind you that 7 years and 6 months ago, Anambra State is the most successful state in Nigeria. It was during the time of Captain of Soludo. All this saga started from insecurity. Why is it that Soludo is not deep on the floor? Just like Ojiano, because during the time of P2D, insecurity is not in Anambra State.
Remember, let me remind you, at least so that you will be more informed. Remember, during that campaign, that was the period Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, and as a result of his arrest, there was unrest. You know, you said that during the first 2 months of Obiano, Anambra was the safest in Nigeria, that the whole thing started during the campaigns. That was the ending time or the twilight of Obiano's administration. But I'm just trying to let you know that it was a period that was in 2021 when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested.
Nnamdi Kanu was arrested. And all this saga starts. But I want to remind you that during the time of P2B, no insecurity, but during the time of Obiano's campaign, insecurity rise. And immediately Obiano coming to Anambra State, he needed to the floor.
I got a question now. All right, thank you so much. I don't know if Dr. Ellis got a question. Okay, let's take another one because we are conscious of time. So because of time, he said he got a question that Obiano nipped in the bud when he came in, and why hasn't Soludo done much more than what he has done so far? Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome. Your name and where you calling from? Make it very, very brief.
I'm calling from Onitsha.
You're welcome.
Okay, I guess at the studio, was he one time gubernatorial candidate?
That was the question. He was one time a gubernatorial aspirant. He was never a candidate.
Yeah?
He was an aspirant. He was never a candidate. All right.
Okay, aspirant, yes. Okay. I congratulate our governor. He's trying.
Oh, you are congratulating him on the awards?
On everything he's doing.
On everything.
Was with the work that earned him the awards?
Okay.
He's trying.
All right.
Banks can no longer fold in Nigeria. It's through his work.
Okay.
He was chief governor. So he should keep on doing the good work.
All right. Thank you so much. I want to come back to Dr. Alex. I'm looking at time. Let me take one more call and come back to him. Good morning. You're welcome. There are so many calls.
Hello.
Remember, this is the most listening political program in the entire Southeast. Good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. The voice of Engineer Frank. I'm calling you from Onitsha.
Engineer Frank calling from Onitsha. Please go on.
Thank you. I want to ask our guest. Can they tell us how much revenue Anambra State generates, and can we equate the work they are doing? Because with all these things that we are saying work. When you other governors that do not collect this kind of revenue we are paying.
All right. You want to know about the revenue? Thank you so much. We got that, and then I don't know. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you. Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
You're welcome. The one two skill program that he said they were giving grants, and then you are saying you want to know those that benefited from that program. Okay. The kind of business they're doing with the money, or whether the business is still going on. Let's come back to Dr. Alex Obiobol. I think there is no more time. I think Dr. Alex. All right, let's go because if we open the phone line, calls will continue to come in. Many people are listening. In fact, Anambra people that are listening. This is exactly Anambra decide.
Yeah.
That is where it happens.
Let me just handle the insecurity one,
all right,
which is the big topic. Emmanuel was talking about appreciating Obiano, and then he mentioned insecurity. I have been resident in Anambra for over 30 years.
Okay.
And I know in 2007, we had that period, we had insecurity, massive, the Masob issue. They had a camp in Fege. I was a direct victim. Honorable Antonia Tabansi, who was a member of the House, was a victim. I remember they kidnapped the main market chairman. I remember seeing him when he was released in pants, white pants, tall, light-skinned guy. So, insecurity has been a part of Nigeria and Anambra over the years. If you remember, more than once in my interviews, you interviewed me. Yeah. I was also interviewed in Delta.
Okay.
And I remember the day the APGA state senator came to Anambra. Abaribe. One of your colleagues on another channel told him that Dr. Biobolu had said this 5 years prior, that there was going to be increased insecurity in Anambra. And it's not going to be as a result of Fulani, because then, they were claiming that the Fulani herdsmen were in this. And then I said it's going to be as a result of the young people, the youths. What fuels insecurity and banditry and criminality is lack of access to amenities, access to education, access to work, and then this feeling of frustration that I have no help. And it was more in the southeast and the north, where you had the Al-Majari system. In the southeast, where the average Igbo young man felt no gusulawo, no job, or your car man at school, the winter admission, winter jobs. So these things were fueling, these frustrations were fueling, and that was why people capitalized on it to talk about all these things caused by insecurity. So insecurity has been there, but it's been managed. But over the present years, from 2019, it worsened in Nigeria. And it could have been worse, like I said, by 2021, 2022. But when Mr. Governor came in, we began to contain it. Now, Ogunke Obiano, the former governor, I've not seen where Mr. Governor has derided him. All I see in public and private is Mr. Governor's appreciation of him. I, as a person, have never also spoken ill. I don't know where he gets this information that none our government.
They praise Obiano.
They praise Obiano
for bringing Soludo.
They may not praise him, but they don't condemn him. That's the key. They may not praise him, but they don't condemn him. Now, the issue of the Badmos, talking about the antenatal, thank God you came to my aid. What we say, people like me, we say the truth and ask you to verify it. IGR, if you go to the index report, Anambra, in terms of transparency, in terms of fiscal responsibility, is top in the southeast.
So how much is the state generating?
Now, if you go to the website of Anambra, because I don't have all these
figures
in my brain, if you go to the website of Anambra State, you'll see it. Again, no, the other side. That was one of the things. If you remember, if you bring my,
why did you even leave the other side to come into this side? You've not told us that.
No, I told you that.
Because you said it before then. You told me you said it.
I said it publicly that at the point I left, the party did not represent the interest of the buying.
Okay.
I told you.
Oh, yeah, you
and I mean, if I made Okute ticket,
you said it.
I said it publicly.
You said it.
Yeah, that they are not serious.
So now somebody asked a question. No. I don't want you to mix it. That you said the President Governor has outperformed.
I'm taking it.
Okay, go on.
Now the only revenue, he needs to go into the state website. He will see a statement of accounts, audited statement of accounts there. You also see the budget. Because if an source of information, it's time that people like me give them this information to know. Now, the issue of INEC and certificate disqualification, DK mentioned. Over time, democracy in Nigeria has improved. The courts have said that INEC has no right to disqualify. INEC cannot disqualify.
Yeah, they cannot disqualify.
That INEC cannot disqualify. That is only the court that can disqualify.
Exactly.
Now, the courts have also gone further to say that if you say this man does not have qualification, they can wear locus when they could not over qualification.
Yeah, exactly.
No hanging there Zol election. And Professor Charles Oludo now Zol with them. So on every right to challenge them and challenge them.
So do you see
the court can also
do you see what happened in Bayelsa State happening? Because I'm taking the case of Bayelsa State, the deputy governor had issues with the certificate. It was alleged that he forged it.
I don't want to go there.
But immediately they were doing parade to be sworn in tomorrow, and all of a sudden Supreme Court ruled that he forged certificate. Are you seeing something like that happening in Anambra State, Dr. Alex?
You know
why are you avoiding the question?
No, that is only if they win.
If
they can't win.
Okay, they can't win. And you don't think APGA will be taking them to court on that, or they don't see them being serious contender?
Well, I can't disclose all these things.
You don't want to disclose them.
But why I brought it up was because people may not understand why these issues came up.
Okay.
Right? Kawata, that these are legitimate campaign issues. But manageable.
Nobody can't be careful. Each challenge qualification, legitimate campaign is nobody can't.
That was what I was trying to prove. So now performing better. Well, the facts are there. As in Obuni, Ifronaya, Inonanti is
Dr. Ellis, I want to ask you, Miriam Anambra State, because I'm aware during the time of Obia. I want to be sure because there have been arguments that whether because the government has said that I'm going to pipe on water, not Anambra State, but we know under previous administration we never had such.
For 30-something years,
we never had such.
He attempted it. He was the only one who attempted.
Attempted under Ngige.
Yes.
So under Obia Nobaro. Under Obaro,
validate.
On Abana, I want to know.
On Abana Opoko. My hometown.
On Abana Onitsha. Pipe on water.
Noka, if you talk where I stay. On Abana every morning.
If you talk where you stay, on Abana
videos and let's go and interview the people.
Unless you have to invite me to verify in Kifitoka.
Because I need to. You need to. I'll go on time. So if Millie Road, like I told you, it's not saying I built roads. How many kilometers of road? Even the former governor, Dr. Chris Ngige, publicly, that Soludo has done better.
Forgetting he may do that because of political alignment.
He's not in APGA.
But he's not supporting the candidate of APC.
No, but he's a statesman. He's been a senator, he's been a minister, he's been a governor.
And he said that Soludo has also performed him as a governor.
He won't use that term, but us in Ozo. Soludo Akaligo, no Yabu Baba, Emperor.
Okay.
Now, you look at schools. We know the state of schools.
People say that P2B provided bus to every school in Anambra State and laptop.
No, excuse me. He didn't provide laptop. He provided desktop computers.
Desktop computers.
Yes.
And then provided bus.
He provided to every school, one for each school. But Soludo has given laptops to every teacher.
Every teacher?
Not every school.
Every teacher. So there are many teachers listening to us. If they call, they can verify that.
You, teachers, ask. Now, he has also gone further to rehabilitate the schools. Not only that, we have now developed what you call the smart schools, fully functional smart schools, which are in process of completion.
The money that P2B usually give to the mission schools,
he has given more.
Soludo has given more.
I speak. Let anybody challenge me. He gave more. And not only it, he did not give only to Catholic schools. He gave to Protestant schools. He gave to Anglican schools.
But P2B did the same, giving to Protestant, giving to Anglican schools. Or you don't want, you have to come out.
No, I don't want
Many are listening.
Sorry,
so you don't want to say P2B didn't give that or give that. You don't want to talk on that.
I can't speak for Okute. Right, I was not in his government.
All right.
I'll speak.
Because Okute remains your friend. I know when I know when both of you usually come to see me. I remember that period.
But what I'm trying to tell you is I'm trying to give you facts that shows that Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo has.
We are completely out of time.
And it is expected. I expect that Mr. P2B will be grateful that he produced somebody who produced somebody that is better.
So P2B should be grateful.
He should be
that
grateful.
He produced Obiano, even if he's not happy with Obiano, that he produced somebody
who's better, doing better than them. I expect and I know in his personal utterances that Chief Willow Obiano keeps being grateful that Soludo is doing better. That is what the mantra of APGA.
So what are you telling the people? I don't know if we have time. Your time is almost up. But Dr. Ellis Obiobol, I don't know if you have exhausted the questions there.
Yes, I think I have.
All right. In a sentence, what are you telling the people of Anambra State?
What I'm telling them
come November 8th.
First of all, before I say anything, first is to thank them. Second is to thank them. Third is to thank them. I understand very well that you need the cooperation of citizens. And that is what Mr. Governor understands. And he remains eternally grateful. And that's why you see him going to the markets to have a feel of what they feel. He goes to the roads, Valwa Road, or Jeffrey Road, Badiozo. He keeps appreciating the fact that they employed him. He keeps saying it. He applied. They found him worthy and they employed him. And his commitment is to them, Bundi Anambra. He refuses to succumb to the whims and caprices of those who want to control the system. And what we are begging them and pleading to the Anambra is, Olu November 8th, fa tinyaka, fa potanigwe, to our vote, tinyaka ebe selokoko. That represents the political party that has continued to lead Anambra, a political party that has continued to lift Anambra, to make Anambra the light of the nation. And God shall be with them, and God will bless all of us. All right. Anambra State to be better.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alex Obiobolu, the political advisor to Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, CFR. Thank you so much for your time this very morning. You are from Onitsha, so anytime we call on you, you can always sneak in here because Udala FM is at your backyard. It's no more the other place. We usually do convene and discuss some of these things. Thank you so much for your time. Let's quickly go for a break. When we come back, we are going to bring in our second guest this morning. Just like I told you earlier on, we are fully charged. We are prepared for this very day. This is Anambra Decides. It's happening here. You don't need to go any other place. This is where it's happening. We'll be right back after the break.
Quality bread, Wendy's bread, for your family breakfast. Wendy's bread, Opa chicken de dosialo. Wendy's bread, Mama Papa they like Wendy's bread, na chicken and do. Wendy's bread, even children they like Wendy's oh Wendy's bread, Wendy's bread, get it better tasty we go sweet your belly. Wendy's bread, Wendy's your chicken. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread. You can contact us on our official address, 2nd Business Park, Enugu Road, GRA, beside Onitsha, Anambra State. We also have another branch at St. Michael Plaza at Tandy Road. Also contact us on 070-1149-1571. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread. Wendy's bread.
When the stakes are high, the debates get hotter. When the issues demand clarity, we bring the fire. Welcome to Crossfire. Crossfire, where politics meets perspective, where issues are dissected, and where no topic is off limits. From the corridors of power to the pulse of the streets, we break down the politics, the controversies, and the decisions that shape our nation. Join Dr. Olisa Mbeki as he puts guests on the hot seat, drilling them with the tough questions, demanding the hard truths, and leaving no room for half measures. Get ready for fearless conversations and uncompromising analysis. Crossfire, exclusive on Udala 104.7 FM Onitsha, every Saturday from 9 a.m.
You're welcome. You're welcome back, and it's still Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM on Nature this very beautiful morning. Just like we announced earlier on, we have our second guest this very morning who is seated, and then he has been here. In fact, he listened to everything, and we have a comrade, Patrick Obianyo, former state chairman, Nigerian Labour Congress, and currently the ADC state chairman. It's my pleasure to welcome you, comrade Patrick Obianyo.
Thank you, Tony, and welcome listeners.
You're welcome, you're comrade. Oh, and once a comrade, always a comrade.
Of course.
And those days, you people usually say a lot of continua, greatest boza, greatest baza. Where you held government to I don't know how to say it, but then I know you were fighting for the working population of not just Anambra State, Nigeria.
Of course.
So I want to ask you, you have left such service now. You are now a politician. You have transitioned from being a labor leader down to a politician. So what is it like, politics?
I'll say that, as a labor leader, you are an activist and you are fighting for the welfare of the people, not only workers, but at least for the downtrodden. And incidentally, when you come to politics, you carry a bit of that particular practice into politics. So you are still what you are and who you are. So nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. Except, of course, that when you come to politics, at times when you hear people talk, you see some politicians talking from both sides of the mouth. But at the same time, at that particular level, you always forthright and you really want to. You are after, you have an ego eye to look at where things are going wrong and to point out of those things. So for us who are formally, who come all the way from the labor side, we are still working.
Okay. All right, let's quickly get into business. You are the state chairman of ADC. You rose so quickly. You left labor, and before you know it, you are the state chairman. And being a state chairman is no smaller feat.
Let me say, I left service since about 11 years ago, so it's not
new anyway.
So yeah, exactly. So, and when I left politics, I was, let me say, literally drawn into politics. And of course, one needs to be somewhere where at least you continue to speak for the good of the people. So I just went into politics and eventually got to that level after going through, certain series of orientations and, certain orientations and going through certain elections. I eventually emerged as the chairman of
ADC, Anambra State. And then ADC has been there, just that it's now what people refer as coalition party. That's the difference. Before now, it has been there for a very long time.
Yeah, of course, it has been there for about 20 years. And let me just say that in as much as ADC has not been very, very, prominent here in Anambra, it has always been regarded as a top force. Haven't won elections in even some other states like House, Senate, House of Assembly, and the rest of it. So before now and before the upcoming of Nigerian Labour Congress, it will usually come third. I mean, in the national
election.
Exactly.
Let's talk about ADC, and then before we go to talk about your candidates, what have you got to tell on the Anambra about ADC as a political party? Is ADC synonymous with APC because two of them start with A, or is it quite different from other political parties? And what makes ADC different from other political parties? You as a state chairman, who would like to know?
Okay, thank you very much. ADC as a party has been, we have our DNA, and our DNA centers on transparency and good governance.
Okay.
And it's quite actually different from APC that has broom as its a logo. ADC has that handshake across board, and you know the meaning of handshake. So ADC is quite different from other parties in the sense that
just in logo, that's the difference.
No. It has even in his programs, in his perception of leadership, in its ideologies.
So when it comes to political spectrum, where will you place ADC? Will you place ADC as a right or left wing party before we define those spaces in the political spectrum? Is it a right? Because when you talk about right, you're talking about those who are progressives, and if you talk about if you talk about right, you're talking about the conservatives, and if you talk about left, you're talking about the progressives. So would you say this is a progressive party or a conservative party?
Anyway, if you really want me to look at it from both sides,
based on ideological foundation,
ideologically, ADC is actually progressive, and that has actually accounted for the progressive minds coming together today to form what is called a coalition. You know, before this coalition, most of the people, given the situation in the country, has been looking for where actually to hinge their destiny in order to at least salvage the country that was rather drifting. So the mere fact that at the end of the day, all these people now decided to come into ADC to now be used as a political, what you may call that is a political force to challenge APC, tells you that this party is actually a progressive. ADC is a progressive party.
So he's on the left.
Oh, yes.
When it comes to the spectrum.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Now, being a progressive party, just like we have said many times, that most Nigerian political parties will tell you they're all progressives. So if they're all progressives, can there be just one political party? And we also want the progressives and the conservatives. So that's what we want. But if all of them lean towards progressive side, what would they all be preaching? Why would there be different dichotomy? But that's by the way, that's not what we are here. Let's talk about ADC in Anambra State, which you are the leader. I want to ask, if ADC is in 326 wards in Anambra State, do they have presence as the level of ward? I know they have in local government, but at the level of ward, do they have?
Of course they do. Just let me tell you, even before the coalition took place,
Okay.
ADC had a structure, but I wouldn't say that they have it down to, that ADC have a structure down to the ward as such. But they exist in some wards. But before then, we have a coalition of COPDEM. When COPDEM came, ADC now started spreading and now started putting up structures at the ward level. Incidentally, the coalition now made it kind of fortify
the ward presence of ADC.
Exactly. So ADC currently as it is, has structures everywhere.
Has structures in every ward in Anambra State?
Of course. And I can just tell you that even now as I'm talking to you, the leadership of ADC, other state exco's are moving into those wards. So we have, very strong structures at the ward level.
All right. And then when you talk about political bigwigs, when we know very well in Anambra State, the people decide. Anambra is one state where people take decision. Is ADC banking on the people or banking on some political bigwigs or heavyweights to make things around or to turn things around during the November 8th gubernatorial election? Who are they banking on, the people or the political heavyweights?
ADC banks on the electorates. The people are
the voters.
Are the voters. You see, because often we have always said about the bigwigs and the rest of them, because a lot of things. But we still know that the people that vote are those women, old women, and listen, are the grassroots inside villages and the others. So that is where ADC is actually going into, not looking at the bigwigs that carries a lot of fund and the rest of them. That is not ADC is looking at. We are looking at the people that will really need to reach, at least change their lives with if ADC comes into power.
All right. If you are asked to narrow this election now, would you say this election is going to be between APGA and ADC? Being that APGA is the ruling party, or would you say it's going to be ADC and APGA and APC, or strictly between APGA and ADC? What would you say?
I would say it is between APGA and ADC.
APGA and ADC. So you're not bringing in PDP or APC or Labour into the equation.
Even PDP, it's not even in contest.
Oh, PDP is not in contest. They are not existing in Anambra State. So, but as political statement, it's a political statement because INEC has enlisted them. So you would say they are not existing. They have a candidate according to INEC list.
And perhaps if we are to go into INEC list, you have some other parties that are still in the list.
Okay.
But you've not heard about them.
Oh, you've not heard about them.
Of course, but they are there.
So you are saying that this election is between ADC and APGA. What about APC?
APC. Well, let me say that people talk about APC because APC is at the national level.
Center, okay.
So that people now feel that maybe perhaps they can use a kind of magic or a kind of bulldozing every other person to take it. But as far as I'm concerned, APC is not there.
It's not even in context.
No, I don't.
You think in the Anambra will not allow APC to govern them?
Of course.
You think Anambra people hate APC?
Well, let's say we can't hate APC, but the only thing is that what are their programs? What are we experiencing, even from the national? That's the issue. So people are just tired of getting, things not working the way it should. You can imagine the situation where we are today. So people are not happy generally about
APC.
So that is the
all right. What about Labour Party? You have George Mohalo, another candidate. You are putting him out of the equation, or are you see him as a serious contender?
The question is actually whether a Labour Party has a candidate. I'm saying this. That does not mean I do not recognize the existence of Mohalo.
Yeah.
But the issue is that we really need to reflect. You recall that during the by-election, the entire APC candidates were disqualified all over because Labour Party does not have a legitimate
leadership
that actually brought them. And the same, so it will be double standard as it were for George Mohalo to be left to contest and win and be counted as having won election.
So you are saying because of their leadership crisis, Nenadi Usman, Abure, that it will also affect George Mohalo candidacy in Anambra State. Is that what you are trying to say?
Of course, because it's even Abure that brought in Mohalo, that he said not to be
supporting him again.
No, yes, of course, he's not an issue of supporting, but not legitimate. He's not the leader. I mean, his time is still by the Supreme Court. So because of that, the person that brought in Mohalo, that signed his candidacy, so to say, was not and is still not.
But it's not challenging court. That is not challenging court. That is not challenging court.
Who told you? The Supreme Court ruled. And that was
I'm talking about Mohalo candidacy is not challenging court. I'm not talking about the leadership.
Okay, let us see. All
right, let's leave that. Unless you say that the contest is really between you and APGA, ADC and APGA.
Exactly.
Now, why do you think that ADC should take that very place since the contest, according to you, is between ADC and APGA? What do you think APGA is not doing? Why they want to take over from APGA?
In the first place, the candidate we are presenting to the electorate. And we have a credible, compassionate, and a humane, candidate we are presenting to Anambra. A man that has made it on his own. A man that comes with no baggage whatsoever. A man that grew up is an IT expert. And if you know this man I'm talking about, you know that he is somebody that one can really leverage on his experiences as an entrepreneur and move this state to the next level. And they're talking about APGA. I would say that there is this adage, in our this and that now. And that we need to have a condition where we will be able to compare and contrast. APGA has been in the saddle for quite a long time. And I have heard a lot of people talking about, my last distance speaking about what APGA has been able to achieve. We really need to look at what actually is the revenue accruing from FAC the internal revenue generated in this state, and you just oppose it with what is.
Do you know that? Do you know the figures?
Of course, Anambra receives about 11 point something.
You are saying about.
No,
have you checked? Because he said this is on the website.
I said Anambra receives from FAC. I think the last listen was about 11.5 billion on monthly basis. And I was even surprised he didn't even know, because he should have known.
No, he said that these things are on the website and he doesn't want to quote exact figures. That he don't want to say about, just like you said.
When I say about 11 points,
meaning that you're not quoting the exact figure.
Well, I think I saw about 11.1 the other month, and the other one 11.5.
So the website can serve us the purpose.
Yes,
the website, once we visit the website, these things are there.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
So are you trying to say that it does not in any way justify the works on ground? Is that what the point?
That's what I'm saying. That I'm talking about. I'm first of all talking about the revenue from FAC, and that of the general revenue hovers around 5 point something billion, according to what is there.
Okay.
So if you look at what comes in and you try to just oppose it with what is on ground, that is where you begin to ask. And if you now reflect and check what used to come to Anambra, today, Anambra, whether we like it or not, is an oil producing state. Therefore, it's not just an issue of what you have or what you don't have. What do you earn as a revenue, and what are you able to use that revenue to?
So is ADC a candidate saying that he is going to do more with the revenue, or that the work on ground does not, in any way, the work on ground does not justify the revenue? So let's understand why he wants to be there.
Thank you. My candidate is saying that with what you have so far, and which is even going to improve upon, is going to be that we will use it to do much more than what he has. And again, further, we all know that talking about one of the major issues in this state is about security.
Yeah.
And security has been a problem. Even in just this September, we knew about the killings, about mowing down about 4 people in the area. At Oka, you have such.
Now the one you talked about at a court-related issue where some courtists came for their members and they shot them.
Security. It's security.
But it was not a case of unknown gunmen. It wasn't a case of unknown gunmen. It was a case of courtists coming to look for their members.
That is what we actually even unknown gunmen. Who are those unknown gunmen? How do you know them? Who are those unknown gunmen? Even the courtists could equally be a known gunman.
And then the last guest said that in the last 3 months in the city of Okando nature, there have never been any kidnapping incidents.
But there have been killings even this month.
No, it depends on what kind of killings.
Killing is killing.
Are you talking about if 2 persons fight and the one kills each other, it becomes a killing? And we are talking about
invading people and killing. This is killing, and we don't know who killed. And let me just say it now: it is we who really try to say it is a called killing, or you don't even know when it means a hired killings and the rest of it. So the killing is killing.
So you want to say that if ADC is in government, there will be no killing in Anambra State? Is that what you're trying to say?
What we are saying is that we are going to improve on security.
But there will be killing.
But
there will be killing.
Who prays for that?
No, I'm saying that because
I can't say there will be killing.
It happened in America where Charlie Cake was killed. So my concern is, if APC comes to government in Anambra State, does it mean there will be no killing of any sort?
No. Listen, just let's get this in very clear.
Okay.
Crime, you can never say you completely obliterate crime.
Okay.
No, it is not. Whosoever is saying it is not just being sincere to himself. But what I'm saying is that it could be reduced to using technological means.
So what are those technologies?
And what I'm saying now, if you go to Enugu, for instance, you will agree with me that the Enugu state, currently as it were, is better police than Anambra.
Why would you say so? Because look at what happened in Enugu last week.
Okay.
We have the DIG, Frank Mba. His home in Enugu state was invaded by unknown gunmen. They attacked his home, a home of Deputy Inspector General of Police. They killed the police officer there, and it was still in Enugu State last week that Father Matu Eya was killed. In fact, it was still in Enugu State that around that Ibweze North and Ibweze South, there were serious insecurity crisis that people alerted the police. So would you say that, because if you're looking at Enugu, are you looking at Enugu as a capital? Are you looking at even the Nsoka ASICs, the Ibweze ASICs, but people are there saying there is no security?
I'm looking at Enugu generally.
Okay, you're talking about Enugu as a capital or generally?
I'm coming. I'm looking at Enugu
because
generally.
If you look at Enugu generally, there were serious insecurity issues, killing of Father Matu Eya.
Comparatively,
okay.
if you compare what used to happen at Enugu previously and what is happening now, and the kind of security architecture that has been put in place, particularly using technology and the rest of them, I think one can say that Enugu today is safer, much safer as it used to be. Now, coming to Anambra, for instance, as I said earlier, there is no way one can say you can remove security or obligate security completely from any part of the world. No. But we are talking about reducing it to the barest minimum. And I'm saying that with the knowledge and with what my candidate is coming up with, that he has the wherewithal technologically to be able to police this state and give Anambra, the kind of security that will be required. That's what I'm saying. And, that side of Anambra, for instance, Lulu, Mbosi, and the rest of them, is still no-go area. It's still a no-go area as far as I'm concerned. So we are coming with the issue of security is one thing we are very sure we are going, my candidate, the government of ADC, will tackle very well.
Now let me ask you, because we know this issue of insecurity has its roots in agitators. Just as we said here, this insecurity in Anambra State deteriorated. That was in 2021. Nnamdi Kanu was arrested sometime around June 2021, and before that arrest, there was normalcy everywhere. We saw how many people were killed. In fact, the husband to former minister, and at the same time former the drug lady Akunyeli. We saw how the husband was murdered, leading to the election, and those people said there will be never election because of the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu. So we saw how the insecurity started as a result of agitators pushing for what they were actually pushing for, and at the same time resenting and protesting against the arrest of their leader. So now let me ask you, because these things have first started on from that period till now, and according to the government of Anambra State, they say they have engaged these agitators. They have also provided amnesty for them, and at the same time provided skill programs for them, for many of them to take up and then do other things, and saying that they have reclaimed so many local governments that we are formally held by these people. Now, if your government comes in, how would you go about these agitators? Because they're still there.
Okay, thank you very much. One thing actually is to provide these agitators, identify who they are. But you've been talking about agitators. Mind you that even before, let me just take you back to that. That even when Nnamdi Kanu was not arrested, before his arrest, I still could remember that from time to time, IPOB will insist that Easterners will not, or rather,
there will be no election.
Yes, that won't be any election.
Okay.
And we must as well acknowledge the fact that even some people that go on and commit all sorts of crimes, some of them hide under the canopy of that very. Some of them are not even
IPOB members.
Yeah, of course. So we really must have to recognize.
So how would the government do that?
I'm coming. So one major thing that is actually very necessary is to be sure in the first place to see how you are going to get many people employed. Put in structures that will help people get employed. For instance, even here today, it might interest you to know that while we are talking about employment, I heard the person that spoke before me, talking about how people have been empowered and the rest of them. So, of course, we don't have statistics of those people that are employed, according to what he's saying. But let me tell you that one of the greatest problems we have is this very issue of unemployment. And I don't mind, it's a devil's workshop. So a good number of these people are people that are not employed and they are engaging in one nefarious activities or the other. Therefore, what my government will do, as a matter of fact, is to create one enabling environment, try to encourage and establish, attract most of all these industries, our people that are outside Anambra State, to come in and invest in Anambra.
It will take time to attract somebody to come and invest, and for you to curtail these agitators. Don't you think it's going to take time?
No. Excuse me. Another thing, listen. What we shall do, first of all, is to use technology to make sure that at least if you have a place where whatever any person is doing, you will be able to see the person, and such people, you make Anambra to be that you don't commit any crime and get away with it. Then people will begin to run.
So would you engage the agitators? Would you negotiate with them? We've seen what is going on in Castena. We've seen what is going on in some parts of Kaduna State and also Zamfara State, where the governors have been engaging with bandits. But I'm asking, if you are there, if the people decide you'll be there, would you engage with the agitators for them to cease fire, or would you go all round to flush them out where they are and provide amnesty? Because what the present government has done was to put up amnesty for them to surrender and try as much as possible to bring in 1U, 2 skill programs to engage those who want to get into that, and then go after those who are hiding under bushes. And they say that they started by taking up the people providing shams for them, the Okite people, these traditional worshippers that have been providing shams. So are you going to improve on that or do something different?
Now the question is, you see, many a times we've been talking about engaging criminals, I call them agitators and the rest of them, and the horde of people will just come out as criminals, or rather agitators, and they will try to pacify them. Why in the north this thing has been going on? Why have we not been able to control such things? Why have these criminal elements been thriving, and all sorts of crimes going on, murders and the rest of them? Why has it not stopped? If actually, let's just get it in my own opinion, as far as I'm concerned. Most of these people that claim that they are agitators and doing this and that, why don't go and start arresting those people in government, killing them, and leave the
ordinary people?
And leave the ordinary people. Are the people that are equally suffering they are the ones that are killing?
They are saying, no, sit at home.
They are saying sit at home. Listen,
what would the government do to stop the sit at home?
The sit at home, as you look at it now, is just gradually fizzling out.
Okay.
It's gradually fizzling out.
So it will go out on its own.
Of course, it will eventually fizzle out completely, because some people are hiding under the canopy of this issue of agitation, and are perpetrating evil ones are doing that. Ordinary, without that, you still see them, in the bush trying to steal and the rest of them. So that is one thing.
All right, let's leave that area of security and move into education and health. Very important, and possibly road infrastructure. What would your government, if the people say yes to your quest, what do you think they will be able to do in that area? Are they going to do anything different from what the present government is doing? Remember, you said this context is truly between ADC and APGA.
Yes,
that's what you said.
Yes, of course. And when we come to health, that it might interest you to note that the APGA government said it has employed about 1,000 health workers and the rest of them. But it might interest you to know that even in some health institutions, like even some government hospitals, you can only find one doctor and about four nurses. That is a far cry from what is actually required. And again, even when some people get employed, at times they seek greener pastures are outside the state, because of what they are being paid, because they pay not. And mind you, you'll be surprised to note that even here in Anambra, the health workers receive just about 60% of Congress. I mean, 60% of what is due to them. That is what they receive up to today. Listen, I happen to be the former chairman of Medical and Health Workers Union.
So are you a medical doctor?
I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a health worker. I retired as a health worker.
You're a lab scientist, or
I'm an environmental health officer.
Okay.
And was the former chairman of Joint Health Sector Union in Anambra. Joint Health Sector Union encompasses the entire health sector except medical doctors. I was their former chairman. So I can talk authoritatively on this. Before I retired, the health workers were receiving only 40%.
Why was it so?
Because the government said they cannot pay. And before I left,
I think it was agreement they entered into with the labor union.
Not at all. I was in labor. I am the one. The labor gave 100%, and in Anambra we kept agitating and we kept insisting. That was why we went on strike when I was there.
When was that?
That was during the time of Peter Obi.
So you went on strike when Peter Obi was there?
Yes, of course.
To force Peter Obi to pay you that amount?
Of course.
And he wasn't paying?
Of course. That was when he granted 40%. When Willie Obiano came, he upgraded it to 60%.
Okay.
But since it has been that 60% up to
so your salute hasn't done anything?
Of course.
And you are saying your government will do something?
Of course, they're going to pay 100%.
100%?
Of course. That's
are you saying this because that you're on the other side now?
No.
Or you have changed camp?
And then because I know. And also, I know some of the problems that have been, that the health sector.
So you are saying that your candidate will take care of workers?
Of course, we'll take care of workers. And mind you, just let me say this, and just let me say it loud and clear.
Okay.
You know, as well as every other person knows, that Naira has been devalued about up to 60-70%. And the fixed wage income earner has been on the receiving side all this while. So what I'm saying in essence is that while there have been increase in revenue, both from FAC and from the internal revenue we generate in the state, nothing, substantial has been done to at least alleviate the sufferings of the workers. It's really very unfortunate.
So let's leave that. Let's talk about the issue of infrastructure. Just listing that over 600 kilometers of road asphalted and then over 800 kilometers awarded. Could you have done much more than that if your party were to be in government?
Not only that, we could have done even much more than that, given what we collect, given what accrues to Anambra. But we have done it, with a kind of compassion. Listen, why these roads are being put in place, I can tell you here authoritatively that a good number of people have been pushed out of the way. No longer, because I'm not saying, one can say it is for the good of people. But then
that is dualization of roads, where some people were asked to relocate or their buildings demolished.
And demolished and without any form of compensation, as far as I know. When you are doing,
but they built on the existing, the design, the physical design of the state. Many of them built on the road.
Was this designed before? When was this designed?
Well, you think that, what do you think your government could have done?
When you are doing some of these things, just let me tell you one thing. I'm not saying that you cannot. Once you are doing what you are doing is for the good of the people, I'm not saying you will not do that. But at least you need to talk to them. You need to at least see how the effect of such infrastructures, how the effect of providing such infrastructure would impact on the people. And what you do is at least you try to make a kind of compensation for the people to go and...
Do you compensate money when the person stands on illegality and ignorance of the law, they say, is not an excuse? That for many of them, even before building, they would like to have a kind of an expanded space. In doing so, they encourage on the road plan, knowing fully what there will be development. In fact, I was told that by the time this Oka road we have in Onitsha, if that road is to be dualized, many buildings will go down. And many of them have also built and encouraged on the road plan. They know these things.
No,
you said you want to compensate somebody who has enjoyed something illegally for a very long time. I want to find out from you how you tend to balance the two.
I'm coming to that. Are you saying that the plan of that road is initially should be dualized? I mean the plan.
Somebody told me, an engineer told me that if you are to make road, that's meters, that in fact you don't build, that anybody who is building should know that your building should be some meters away from road. That is the general.
Yes, of course.
Survey plan. Your meters should be some meters away, but some will build close to the road. So if it's a general concept that if you are building, your building must be meters away, and you build to the road, and when there is development, your building is affected, and you'll be waiting for compensation. Who do you blame?
Now listen, do you know that most of those buildings were approved by the government?
The government approved them.
That's what I'm saying. Some of most of those buildings you are talking about, we are approved. A plan was run, sent to government, and it was approved. And talking about meters, do you think that even the provision made for such meters to be given as clearance from the road will be enough to accommodate?
But I've seen some X sign on some of them. They will go back and bribe their way. That when you bribe your way, your bribe is a bribe. But sometimes when these buildings are going on, you will see a very big X sign. That tells you that you are not going by the plan. But some of them will go through the back door and bribe their way in.
When you see a red sign on a building that is under construction, it means that person has no plan.
And other things. There are so many other things.
Approved plan. And they'll
go and bribe their way.
He could go and approve it.
And bribe his way.
Don't bribe him.
Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about. We know how government, and people have said that workers, especially members of Nigerian Labour Congress, they are the real problem of Nigeria.
Why?
There are some of these politicians who have stolen our money. They couldn't have done it without members of Nigerian Labour Congress. Many of them never resisted that.
In what form?
Because if you look at every ministry in the government, you have members of NLC working in those ministries, and they are the ones that make it easy for politicians to steal money. This bribery we are talking about, if S sign is on the building, they go to the ministry, somebody put the file, swap the file, and get it done. So, but we are not talking about that. We are talking about your candidate.
No. Okay. Furthermore. You know, in Anambra,
yes.
just let me say, this issue of multiple taxation is, getting very, very, disturbing. Let me tell you, I personally was just coming back one day. I just decided to go into a market at Oka and buy yams. You cannot believe that after buying those yams, just putting it in barrel for them to go and put it inside my vehicle, I have to pay for 400 naira. No, it's just a very clear thing. I said, why? Say I must pay for the yam and for the barrel. The barrel will go in, carry another person's this and will come again. And
you pay or in the one and
na parking.
Okay, private park.
Not private park. The parking.
So what do you think your government will do? But because government has told us that any payment given by hand does not enter into government coffers. That people should know that anybody that asks you money where you pay by cash or you give somebody money, that government does not know about it. That government knows about the ones you pay electronically. But you have said it here. What do you think you do?
Okay, thank you. Oh, you mean my government or you mean what?
No, your government.
Oh, my government.
Yeah.
Of course, my government cannot claim ignorance of all these things I'm talking about.
Okay.
Therefore, if somebody is actually violating the law and is collecting money, what do you think the government will do? That's the question. Will the government keep silent? If the government keeps silent, it's an accomplice. So the government knows about it. So let's leave that. If my government comes into this, all these multiple taxations should stop. There's nothing, because there's nothing goes without the government claiming that is ignorant of it. So even the woman that is carrying ordinary ogo and the rest of them, they're all paying all this.
But Soludo came out and announced that everybody who is doing business that has no turnover of a particular amount pay nothing. Hawkers, barrel pushers, he has come out many times to announce it and say that Ndiobodo, and then task the PG, the town union, they told them that you people are to be held responsible for all these taxes. And then some people, they will go and put their goods on the roadside, even when there is this policy against street trading or roadside trading, and they will pay money to Ndiobodo to allow them to be on the roadside to trade.
I mean inside the market, even inside the
now market. What would you think their government will do?
Of course, we should remove all those people, those touts that are even collecting that money. If government claims it does not know, why allowing it to continue to thrive? the government should clamp down on them.
Clamp down?
Yes, of course.
You use the word clamp down.
Clamp down on those
If you clamp down, people will say you are high-handed.
No.
People will say you are high-handed if you clamp down on them.
Of course, you need to clamp. Listen, unless you stop, unless the government is aware of what is happening.
All right, let's
so what are you trying to say? That government is handicapped in such
No, I'm asking a question because I've listened to the people. Most times when government goes that way, they will say the government is high-handed.
No, the government will be, listen, only few people are there collecting this money. But if you are, collecting...
And that's why government tells you that you set up SAS and Dakodo to go after these people and, flush them out.
Who told you? I told you I went to buy and
All right, let's open the phone lines and allow our listeners to come in. Okay, we have been having this conversation with Comrade Patrick Obianyo, the ADC State Chairman, Anambra State, and former Chairman, Nigerian Labour Congress, Anambra State. Let's open the phone lines here. Talk so much about what he thinks ADC will come and deliver from the Anambra. And he said, and I quote, this context is really between ADC and APGA. Do you agree? Let's go straight to the phone line. Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome.
Really nice. Thanks, brother.
You're welcome.
Please, the ADC chairman agreed with you.
You're welcome. He's greeting you. Quickly.
Please let us fight that and take away the other government. What you are doing there is there is something that is happening about Anambra State. The ordinary driver, what they are doing every week is okay to dualize every road and maintain the road. But look at the road, what market? There is no road. So I wonder what the other person was saying before, Alex Ojubu. What the market cannot drive. So please, if ADC can take the Anambra State, we are okay with that. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Honorable Speaker.
You're welcome.
You're listening to the voice of Prince Shinyelugo. I'm calling from Suma.
Make it brave. Make it brave. Shinyelugo. Please go on.
Thank you very much. I want to ask a question. My
Please go on.
interest is on education. Because what we are seeing in this current government is a kind of a rape on the students of Anambra State. From the time of other past governors, I've noticed that Anambra State has been taking first position in NICO, WAEC, and NAPTEB. But this time around, the Commissioner of Education that the current governor appointed is not serious with education. He's making...
Ask the question because of time.
My question is this. Anambra State has been top in education. And now, I was told we are on 33. What is the government going to do to bring us back to first position in Anambra State as the best educated state? This is my question. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I think that Philip Consulting, many people have issues with that. I think government has also reacted that you can't ask 70-something persons question about the entire state and use their responses to be the case, because they say they ask 70-something persons, that's the respondents, and then they generalize that Anambra State has a population of about 7 million people. That's by the way. Maybe you're gonna answer that. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Good morning, Dr. Olisa Mbeki.
You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Chidi Chukuma, reaching you from God this morning.
You're welcome.
And good morning to you, our guest.
Welcome, my
Yes,
brother.
talking of the oncoming election. Yes, the governor of Anambra State, most of the people they disagree with, because the governor has done so much in Anambra State in terms of security and economic progress in this country. This is the only governor that have not borrowed any money from anywhere. And also, the fact that the insecurity is a global issue. And anytime we are having discussion and the people are trying to capitalize on it, I want to tell them that it's not so, because it's a challenge, national challenge. And also the fact that there is no need of committing any criminal activity with IPOB activities. Most of the time, people like to call against the people that
all right, because of time.
Of their self-determination. And all possible that any crimes that they happen in this country
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Chukuma. Because of time, we have to let you go. Just round off.
Let me just round off because I can't hear this particular line. We are having a one-on-one discussion.
Okay.
So it goes to the other side. So their principle is asking for 4 years and all this big agenda. I don't think that your principle can achieve in 4 years.
All right, thank you so much. Because of time, I have to let you go. Let me bring you in because we are so much concerned about time. You have questions there. One, he asked about some of the things you've said. Can it be done in 4 years? And then the issue of zoning. Remember, the people of Anambra State believe so much in zoning, and where candidate comes from the south. So, and he has said he's going to be going for one single term. How tenable? And the governor has come out to say that anybody that says or tells you that he's going to go for one term, that person needs psychiatric re-examination. But let's get a thought on some of the things people said here, because I'm managing time, and if time permits, I'll pick more calls. Let's see if you can trick those questions you have before you.
Okay, just let me say that 4 years is even too much for somebody who actually knows what to do.
Okay.
It's an issue of before somebody comes in like my candidate. He already has a blueprint of what he wants to do, and it might even interest you that he has even gone to some of the states like Lagos, and even to get some of the gist about how they go about their security and the rest of them. So that tells you he's already getting prepared, and 4 years is even too much for him to do what to make an impact that will be commended by anybody here in Anambra. That is one. Then secondly, the second question is somebody raised an issue of education, and you said about it. Let me tell you, we all know that Anambra State has been always between first and third. But this present decent, NECO did not even come, Anambra State did not even come up to within the first 12 in the examination. Let us know that a lot of factors are responsible, including motivation of teachers. You can employ 1 million teachers without motivation. You don't expect to get much. There are so many things that needs to be done to improve on education. It's unfortunate that Anambra State has always taken the first in education. Is today we are not talking about whether we are trying to see whether the survey or whatever is.
But then, somebody will say that
we know
2024 Anambra State came first, because they didn't make first. This 2025 now, something
and
is
they
wrong.
not even come within the first 12. It tells you that something is wrong. So
but Anambra State was ranked first in the southeast zone in last year.
I mean,
so if somebody comes first this year and didn't come next year, so it's the first bet for you.
It's even embarrassing when you begin to hear some people say that somebody from Anambra State came scored the highest exam. Yes, of course, that could be that person's decision.
But then Anambra State, some people that may say that, we made first last year, came first in JAMB this year. So what has changed? Or because we didn't come first in NECO and Boyek?
Not even first, the first 12. That's what I'm saying.
So you agree with if your child comes first most times, and then from the fact he didn't come first a particular year, you say that the child has failed.
No, it shows that something is not, at least if it doesn't come, at least second or third.
Okay.
But when he couldn't even
your concern is he would have been second or third or fourth. That's your concern. Having come first last year, you should come second or third this year.
Or at least come within the first 12.
All right, we got a point.
So what was the next?
Someone to talk about zoning. How do you treat issues of zoning?
And I have said already that 4 years is even enough for a very serious
project. What about zoning?
Actually yes, of course. After 4 years, he would link.
Do you think the Anambra Center will agree? Because many of them are saying that we are immediately after 4 years is their turn, and they are very anxious about it. Do you think? Yes, the Anambra Center, they are saying that it is their turn, that they South have just 4 years. Do you think they will give their candidate trust?
It's not an issue. If you know the personality of John, you know that when he says something, he does that. What we are saying is that my candidate is going to do that.
Just
4 years that he will leave. His personality just tells.
Do you think Anambra Central will agree to that?
Oh, why shouldn't they? It will now go over to Anambra Central.
Do you think they will agree to give a Southerner another 4 years when they know constitutionally the person can go for 8 years? Do you think they will agree?
Of course, what should stop them? If they have if they have trust in the person that is coming, and that is what I'm trying to tell Anambrarians, that this is a man you need to trust, and whatever he says stands. That's the man I'm talking about. And I know that he will never renege in whatever promises he has made. Once he said he's going to quit within 4 years, he definitely will quit. That's the personality I'm talking about.
Okay. Let's see if we can just take one more question and we wrap up. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Good morning, my sister.
You're welcome. Quickly, because of time.
Because good morning. My question is statistics in Anambra State. How are your government going to deal about statistics? Not telling us that 1,000, 1 million people have to receive without seeing the impact of those things in the public. How are you going to deal about it? Because Anambra State government sometimes they will tell you they do this without any statistics.
All right. We got a question. How is the government going to deal with statistics that you require statistics, or you need it for planning, that there is need for data on everything? When you're talking about education, when you're talking about health, when you're talking about food security, insecurity, you must have got data bank. How do you have it? Are you going to go about it? Are you going to use it for future planning? Quickly, because of time.
Yes. Just let me tell you, as I said, my candidate is an IT person. The very first thing he did when he came to office is actually to have a data of all members. He insisted on that, and he got it. So, being a person that insists on statistical, as a matter of fact, even as we are doing, you cannot do anything without giving.
All right, we're completely out of time for your final word. What are you going to talk to Anambra?
Okay, I'm actually telling Anambra that this is the time for us to actually think deeply. As in we have APGA has been coming and talking blah 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 and telling us let's have a change.
Okay. All right, that's the voice of Comrade Patrick Obianyo, who is the ADC state chairman and also former state chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress, Anambra. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Tony.
All right, that's much we're going to take this very morning on Crossfire, and it has been hot, and I know you enjoyed it. And he also enjoyed it. He felt the hotness of the seat, and that's what we do. Whenever you come here, we put you on your toes. And we're going to do this next week. God's willing. I'm Tony Olisa Mbeki, the Honorable Speaker. Do have a wonderful weekend.